Hi, I'm Wendell G. coming to you on this rainy, drippy December the 4th Oklahoma City day. It's foggy day. And game time, it's Sunday, February 12th, 2045. I just made a deal with Gusta, Key West, to bring shortstop Nayasore Adumbe to Moscow. This is a kind of a weird looking guy. I mean, you look at this and you're like, holy shenanigans, dog. You traded a mid-late second round pick or a mid-second round pick for this guy. And this is just one of those weird cases. OSA has him rated way up, way up. My scout has him much less than this. So no worries on that, but it is intriguing. And you know what's also intriguing? Look at Nayasore's average, his WBL average. He was, if you go back and look at his history, he was a 2038 first round draft pick. A 2038 ninth round draft pick by Helsingborg. Ninth round pick. He was released, signed on with Key West's farm organization, and has gradually just moved up in the farm system until by 2042 he was the number 28 prospect in the entire baseball league, making the minimum salary his first 2 years, 2042 and 2043. Made $750,000 through ARB last year. Just a few minor league accomplishments there. 5 for 6, 5 for 5. He was a AA batter of the month in 2041. He's had a few tic-tac injuries. 2043, year before last, a hamstring kept him sidelined for 6 weeks. But look at his OSA scouting ratings. That's interesting, man. You know what I mean? So anyway, I brought Adumbe over for his defense and for a bat that won't hurt us too much. I'm hoping, knocking on wood, if not help us. So, not to say I've given up on Duarte, but Duarte didn't get it done either offensively or defensively last year for us. So, you know, I figure this is just another example, another case of us trying to cover some bases, and, you know, it gives us one more option, and it's a fairly cheap option for me. But yeah, look at this, man. From 2039, his OSA batting potential, contact potential, went from 40 to 55 to 50 to 50 to 55 to 55 to 60. Power, 25 to 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 to 70 to 75. I, 45 to 50 to 60 to 70, 70, 70, 75. So OSA has liked this guy, you know, for several years now and has never given up on him. My scout begs to differ, but it's really fascinating. So I got this pick more from, as much from curiosity as from anything else. And if he hits anything like this, man, wow. Well, that's the other thing I wanted to point out. Look at his average. In 2042, he hit 211. 2043, he hit 234. 2044, he hit 255. He's only been on an upward progression with his average. With his OBP, went from 259 to 278 to 294. His OPS plus, 55 to 72 to 88. And his WAR, minus 0.1 to plus 0.2 to 1.5. So all stats are getting better. All of his stats are getting better year over year. Once in a while we have a super late bloomer, and it's possible Adumbe could be a late bloomer. Anyway, that was really what I wanted to get on here and talk about. He's got good speed and fantastic stealing and base running ability, which stealing, I'm not a big small game kind of a guy myself. I don't play the small ball too much, but I do like aggressive base running. So he'll help us with that. This off season, we've made some changes. We got some tentative changes to our lineup, as you see here, and some sort of tentative changes that I've been kind of tweaking the rotation and the lineup. The rotation this year will look like Bing will be our ace, followed by Nico. Nico, by the way, says he won't listen to extension talks at the moment. He wants to test free agency. So it's quite likely I will lose Nico after this year. Sasaki will listen to extension offers, but he's 36. So, and he won't be totally expensive. He's willing to listen to a reasonable extension. So I'm going to see how he does this year, and I may take a gamble on Sasaki for next year, but we'll see. And maybe Nico. I'm hoping Nico will come around for a relatively inexpensive extension offer. I've got Jose Rivas penciled in as my number 4, and Kellogg Cornflake Higham is at the bottom of the rotation at number 5. And I think both of those guys will be fine at the bottom of the rotation. They'll both give us a chance to win. Maybe the big surprise here, let me go click on pitching. Perhaps the big surprise is I went in and asked bench coach for staff, and it picked Luis Chavez as my closer. You know, Chavez came over in the Buffalo/Buenos trade, and he's got a stamina of 30. Where's he at here? Is that him? Yeah, no. Here he is. Last stamina of 35. He's still got great speed on his pitches. This is, I mean, top to bottom, I love my pitching core. I love my pitching core, man. It's starters, bullpen. You know, you always want, you always want somebody, a top of the line guy. But this is a good staff, and I like him a lot. Mezyan Assad performs above his ratings, as does Mahmoud Jamal. Both these guys perform above ratings, and so anyway, I'm a big fan of the staff. Favila finally came along last year and did really well. Noel Abbott did well. He served as our closer for a while. I've always liked old Noel. Pedro Martinez may get some starts in the rotation. I got plenty of guys with plenty of stamina and pitches to go in the rotation. Probably at least 8 guys, if not 10, who are rotation capable. And I like that. It gives me great options. This guy, Leonardo Munoz, might wind up being a rotation arm one day. He's been working on a third pitch that might be starting quality, but he also has he probably has the least stamina. Yeah, he's got a 30 stamina, so he would only last maybe 5 innings in a rotation from a starting role. So, you know, anyway, it's nice to have lots of options. And so that's what our rotation and bullpen is looking like for next year. I did another Ask Bench Coach for Staff over here, Ask Bench Coach for all depth charts and lineups. I usually go through all my teams and do that. Minor teams, big league teams. I'll just simply go through here and say, Ask Bench Coach for all depth charts and lineups, and then I'll just tweak those. Maybe there's a guy who's not being used up here, and so I'll drag him down, and then once I make my manual changes, I'll go in and I'll say generate depth charts based on these lineups. So I kind of get the guys I want in and playing. And let's see, I basically go through that, set pitching and lineups at all 3 levels, including, well, at the major league level. I guess, yeah, to start with, I'll use Ask Bench Coach for all depth charts and lineups for my first start of the majors, my first look at what would the AI do, and then I make a lot of changes and tweaks after that. I haven't made any changes yet, but you can see the AI would start our new outfielder Bill Mahoney, then Kustance, Robles batting 3rd, Hugo Yazicki batting 4th, and this is against both lefties and righties. I've got my catching split, so favoring left-right matchups to get Zippo some reps against left-handed pitching. But Payway has really come on, and he could go against lefties too. I'm taking a gamble this year that Donatello is up to speed. He may not spend much time in the majors, but we'll see. And then I did pencil in Danny Gonzalez as my second baseman in starting position versus left-handers. I don't know if that's going to last or not, but we'll see. Again, it's good to have options. Ursoy in against righties. Jose Gonzalez, new center fielder, is playing against right-handed pitching, and his place is taken by, in center field, will be taken by Mahoney, and then Velez will play against lefties. I guess Velez will take the outfield spot that Mahoney starts with against righties. So yeah, and Duarte has penciled in a shortstop on both sides that will probably go to Adumbe once that trade is finalized. But yeah, this was just Ask the AI. What would the AI do? WWAID. So pretty much, I guess that's it. Finances, we're in much better shape this year right now with finances, even after absorbing Jose Gonzalez's contract. We're in good shape, so we'll be in better shape. I think by the end of this year we'll be in better shape. So off season, what have I done? Let me think. What you done? What have you done, dog? Well, I've done a lot of trimming of my minor league rosters. I was letting my single A roster get a little bit large, and so I trimmed it, and cut loose, made some tough choices, and got it down to where everybody has a chance for some playing time this year. And looking forward to seeing how especially my single A roster play out. But I like my rosters from AAA through AA. I got some good guys. Roberto Gallegos is probably ready to call up, but the addition of Mahoney and Gonzalez buys me a little bit more time. I don't have to call him up this year, and so he may stay in AAA. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I got some backup center fielders just in case. Before the Mahoney Gonzalez trade was finalized, I had some number 5 outfielders ready and lined up, but I think we're in good shape with that. A transactions log. I extended Wes Lancaster to a minor league extension. If you haven't seen Wes, let me go pull him up. And here's old Wes. You can see he's age 27. He's had big stuff for a long time, and it's kind of dropping off a little bit. His low movement and fly ball tendency are why he hasn't been called up to major leagues yet. But I snapped him up out of minor league free agency last March, about a year ago. Just a little less than a year ago, and he's pitched well down in Catequet and made 25 appearances for us, including 2 starts to see if he had starting material, and he pitched pretty decent down there. Not great numbers, but not bad either. And he was very much a Gerard Martin type. His stuff is great, big stuff, very mediocre movement. But where Lancaster gets in trouble is his control. You can see his BB per 9 is 4.3. Yeah, not so great, man. Not so great. But this guy could possibly, be some help. If I ever have to release him, this guy could be some help in the bigs. Maybe to somebody. So the big trade this year was, for me, was moving Donald Mason. I moved Mason because it gave me a chance to get value, mainly because Lloyd was just asking for him. Lloyd wanted him on the Buffalo rotation, and he was willing to give me really good value in return. So I got Luis Chavez, John Haney, a prospect John Haney, Danny Gonzalez, middle infield prospect, and outfield prospect, corner outfield Fernando Chavez. I also got from the corner of the deal, the center of the deal, without which the deal wouldn't have happened, was Buenos Aires' involvement. And originally, Bill Mahoney was going to go to me, and Jose Gonzalez was going to go. They were working on a deal with one of the expansion teams or another team in which Buenos would send a couple of second rounders plus Jose Gonzalez and his salary. But I got to looking at Gonzalez, and I thought, you know what? This guy hits right-handed pitching pretty darn good, and he's an excellent defensive center fielder, something I've kind of been lacking the past few years. And so that's why I made the deal with Buenos for he went ahead and sent me Gonzalez along with his two second rounders. And now I've flipped one of those second rounders for Adumbe. So, yeah, you know, things all come out in the wash. Osick was a little bit, he was, I guess, in a little bit of wonderment that he got a lot in this deal for being sort of the linchpin of the deal. He got a first rounder from Buffalo, and you know, he said that could have gone to me or maybe should have gone to me. I don't know, man. I thought it was a decent deal. I did think that Buenos got a very nice return for basically being a broker here, but I don't begrudge that. And that first pick, while I could have used it, you know, I'm pretty happy with the return I got. I'm very happy with the return I got. So I feel like I unlocked ultimately a lot of value for Mason. I did have to send a couple of guys to Buenos, not because Buenos asked for them, but in order to make my payroll work, and that was Gerard Martin, who is a flamethrower, but he's getting up there in age. I think he's 30 or 31 now. And he used to be an all-star in the bigs, but his movement has dropped off, and he gives up the long ball a little bit too often. But he had a few $1 million salary, and Leo Morales also had a few million dollar salary. And moving those two guys to Buenos gives them hopefully a better chance to get a lot of playing time on their system, more so than in Moscow system. And also it got their salary off of my books. I didn't want to give up either one of them, but I needed to get Gonzalez's salary. Gonzalez is signed. He could be a bit of a problem for us for a few years because his salary is $10+ million for the next few years, and he is getting up there in age. 30 years. There it is. 30 years old. Look, dog, look. But I think he's going to be just fine for us. So I looked at Gonzalez. I scouted him. My scout likes him, and I think he's going to be fine. So that's pretty much it, man. Here you can see all the guys I've released. I've released a bunch of guys. Over the years, I have really followed the Gator method, not as strictly as Gator. When Gator would sign a draft class, he'd move the entire team up in lockstep every year or two, keeping them around the superstars. Basically, when the superstar was ready to move up, the entire recruiting class moved up with him. That's kind of a simplification, but it was a way for him to keep moving talent up. I do it a little bit differently. When a guy gets above a certain age, he's too old to be. If he's 23, that's too old for single A ball, you know. And then when he gets to be 24, that's probably too old for double A ball. And once they get to triple A, they can pretty much stay there until they get bumped out. And so that's kind of my philosophy there. I had to let go of a couple of guys, especially Ben Tack. I liked Ben Tack. I just didn't have enough room for him in my system, and I finally just had to let him go. There might be a little bit of value out there in my releases. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give you a quick off-season update. Thing happened in December. Just a few international amateurs coming in. November, yeah. So our WAR plus or minus year over year is going to look pretty bad because Marrero left. and I did not extend Ben Jamil. I think Joe Lopez and Lockdown actually gave us a plus WAR when we released those guys. Oh yeah, we took a big hit. This was the big hit. Gannett left, and that's going to be tough. Sanchez, they both were very big positive WAR players, so that was a big hit to lose those guys. Gannett voids his last optional contract here. Oh man. Well, I guess that's pretty much it. The new rotation right here. The pen. We'll be leaning on Old Noel quite a bit this year in the pen. Leo Munoz, I still think this guy could be our closer, and he may well be. We'll be moving Chavez he'll probably be our swing man in the rotation along with being the closer. We'll see how that goes. So I like our team this year. We don't have it doesn't seem to me that we have the elite pitching we had this past year. But things just didn't work out for us this past year, and maybe we can do more this year with a little bit stronger lineup, especially in center field and at shortstop. Maybe it's just a few games better, and maybe that's all it takes. Well, thanks for listening in, and I've got more coming up for you soon. We're going to do a co-cast with Yankee to wrap up the draft, and we've got some more co-cast coming up down the road this season. So thanks for listening in, guys.